Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of the MLO Bros on Youngstown's Talk Channel. I'm Isaac. This is Luke, and we actually have some important people in the studio today. Two lawyers. I feel
not really lawyers. Well, they are lawyers.
We are lawyers.
Definitely,
indeed,
we are.
Yes.
Definitely.
I don't know if we're important.
Clerk,
Jerry Retreaty and Dave Beatrice think we're important.
Well, I'm not gonna try and understand it, but but thank you all for joining us, Youngstown Talk Channel. Like we said, we are the MLO Bros. We are live in downtown Youngstown right now at Youngstown Studio. Our objective of this local show is to give you a basically the next form of Youngstown Radio. Youngstown Radio is coming to an end soon, we assume. So we are trying to replace that using Youngstown's Talk Channel. So you can call in, talk to us. You can.
Dave Beatrice has already commented.
I actually don't know if you can call in. We have to check with Joe, but you can comment in.
What's up? He must be really busy in his day.
You can call in, you can text, or you can message us, and we'll get the questions to the guests here. So today we were joined with Jen and Michael Ciccone. Not related in any way, right? I mean,
yeah, let's get that out of the way.
Yes. 23 and me, because everyone said it, and we're actually very similar. We are. I'm sorry. You're good. You're good.
Is
that the camera?
That's the camera. Yep.
Because I want to stare in Dave Beatrice's and Jerry Retreaty's eyes when I'm answering.
I convinced her to take a 23.
Joe, can they call in today or no?
I can do that if you want.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, we can set that up, Joe.
I mean, he's clearly
Beatrice, you can call in. Hey, I also Beatrice. The other thing too is I called your assistant and invited you on the show next week to give your words about this. We get lots and lots of views, Beatrice. I know you want attention and get you attention, big guy. She said
you're scared.
And we're gonna do an IQ test.
You can call in, Dave.
We're gonna challenge you to an IQ test here, buddy.
Your assistant said she gave it to the note to your paralegal. It has my name and cell phone on it.
I'm not gonna call you. I don't have time for your nonsense.
Oh my goodness.
Right. So we are coming.
Lawyers arguing.
We're gonna come, Beatrice. I'm ready.
I need a gavel. I need a gavel.
But we are not. We did 23 and me. We are not related as far as 10th cousins. After 10th cousins, there may be something.
Okay, so not related 10th cousins for sure.
Correct.
Through the first 10th cousins.
Okay. All right. So not related 10th cousins.
So let's set the stage, Luke. Explain why they're here.
Well, first off, let's meet them and then we'll set the stage. Okay. So, Michael, where are you from?
I am from Austintown, and I also I graduated from Western Reserve High School. So
Western Reserve High School.
I've kept, yes.
Yeah. Can I ask how old are you?
I'll be 36 on the 16th of May.
There you go. Western Reserve High School, little ITCL. Well, no, was that ITCL?
It was oh goodness, you're taking me back to the old days.
45. Yeah.
It was Inter-County League ICL, right?
Yeah.
ICL, and then in my senior year, I think it switched over to ITCL.
There you go.
And then it started having wins.
Jen, where are you from?
I'm Jen Ciccone. I've been on your podcast before. I currently live in Poland Township with my family.
Yep.
I grew up
in Poland. Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line. Please enter your show or meeting number and press pound.
And then we moved around a little bit, came back, and was born in Seattle, but raised in Northeast Ohio. Graduated from Poland Seminary in 2003.
There you go.
And then went to school.
You did not enter a number.
State law school.
Goodbye.
Returned here to my family because I think the Mahoning Valley is the best place to raise a family.
There you go. So both Mahoning County people, both born, raised. Jen left for a little bit, then came back. So awesome. Okay. All right. So let's get into this. So you guys are both lawyers.
We are.
And
in good standing. Michael, you were elected to the Clerk of Courts, correct?
Yes, Clerk of Courts, or as on the ballot, it says Clerk of the Court of Common Pleas.
And what a quick 7th grade intro to that. What is that?
Okay. So the Clerk of the Court of Common Pleas is essentially the record keeper for the judicial system in the county. We handle at Common Pleas Court, we handle all matters dealing with felony cases in the criminal realm, civil matters where the amount in controversy exceeds $15,000. We issue various writs, summons, subpoenas.
What do I tell people?
What do I tell?
Oh, yes. I love how
Talk to Mike.
Jen just
Oh, I'm
takes it
sorry.
down. She says, we hold the things. We
Yeah.
hold the things.
Paperwork.
We hold the things.
We
Well, not
hold-
just paperwork.
Well,
Yeah.
we hold the things. We are the maintainer of the records. So anything that's filed in the court,
Yeah.
search warrants. However, we have a whole division that no one knows about,
Mm-hmm.
which is our title division.
I
They
knew that.
know it, but they don't know it's part of the clerk. So we are a limit deputy registrar
Mhm.
where we process passports. Full stop. You don't have to, when you're trying to get go to the post office, you have to make an appointment and then
Yeah.
they cancel it. You don't need an appointment. We can take your picture. We can
Really?
submit your
Yes.
application. We can expedite it. And our turnaround is like, I was
Well, it's sent to
talking,
the State Department and
but
boom.
expedited, we're seeing them back in a week and a half.
You're kidding.
I-
Versus I had no idea.
Well, once again,
Wow.
we come with receipts.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
the title, we also
Need my notepad.
secure titles, liens, change, notarize, record, repossessions. The title operation is fully our operation, but a lot of people don't realize that's completely under our purview. So we hold the things, and a lot of people don't understand it. And quite frankly, I'm going to be 100% honest. I didn't realize how much the clerk of courts did and was encompassing and we can get into budgets and how many employees we have, but we have 6 different locations, which I believe we're either the number 1 or number 2. We're trying to get a definite answer of how many different locations. So out of the commissioners, we operate more locations than any other elected official or county. We have clerks in every county court. So there's Austintown, Sebring, Boardman, and
Those are the
Canfield.
title places.
No, those are the
those are county courts, like Boardman.
Right.
Those would
Okay.
We
handle.
have a title office in Sebring. We have the title office in Oak Hill, which is the main office, which
Right,
is where
been
we
there.
do the passport.
Okay.
And then we have the legal common pleas office, which is in the courthouse on the 2nd floor.
Gotcha.
Yes.
What? So how long have you been? Last year you were elected
I was elected in November, yes,
of
of
November.
2024.
Okay, and then
So about 4 months in.
so then so you get elected in, and then you get to set it up the way you want.
Well, yes, but there's, obviously.
I'm doing this at a 1 million
Yes.
way down, right? There's
Yeah.
a lot of steps.
Well, there's
to
a
it,
lot.
everything
Are
else.
you,
Well,
when you say set it up, do you mean
Yeah.
like hire?
Yeah, hi, I'm getting it right.
Well, he had, so
So-
once again, we're one of the few places in the county that still have a union. So
Okay.
our deputy clerks can participate in the ASME union. We're proud to have them. They're a great organization. They're easy to work with. Then he has administration. So the union is a little bit
Correct.
not difficult. It's different on how the hiring procedures go.
Who's in the
issues in
union?
there.
The employees of the clerks.
The deputy clerks.
Okay.
So
Is everybody that
majority.
work in the clerk's department a deputy clerk, or how does that work?
yes,
So-
everyone's deputized, but then you have the administration. I'm an administration, so I'm a non-union
Makes
sense.
employee.
Makes sense.
So I don't have the union protections. I don't get. Well, we'll get into this,
Okay.
but I'm an unclassified, non-exempt employee, which means I serve at the will. I'm an at-will employee. So if Michael gets up and says you're going to call me an idiot one more time in front of the MLO brothers,
Yeah.
then I'm firing you and I'm out of a job immediately.
Yeah, you're not
no
a
for a
union
cause.
employee.
Union, you can still fire and change positions, but you have to go through
There's a
certain
process.
stuff.
Mhm.
Correct.
Makes
So
sense.
I guess we can break down the numbers, but who we have that are non-union right now, we have 4 supervisors at each of the county courts. We have a supervisor in training at title. And then at the legal division, we have myself. He is not, he's an elected official, so he's completely out. And when we get into the pay stuff, elected officials aren't included in there, which is going to be really interesting when we pull those numbers.
Okay.
But so elected official, he's not he has a completely different classification. I'm sorry, I'm hitting the
You're fine,
mic.
you're fine.
I'm
You're
not.
good.
So there's so I guess we'll go in the hierarchy. Then there's me, who's the chief deputy and chief of staff. Then we have the director of operations, Ryan Cadle. He is 20 years as a bailiff for Judge Evans, Judge Shirley Christian, Judge Diapolito. I mean, he is a wealth of knowledge and a breath of fresh air, and we couldn't be more thankful to have him. Then we have Thea Scott, who is our administrative coordinator. We have Steve Horger, who is the payroll administrator. And then we also have Sam Bazzacco. Sam Bazzacco is unfortunately leaving us. He's retiring on May 16th. Yes. He was a pivotal, he's considered as an administrative supervisor. He did a lot with working with the public as well as implementing e-filing. And we're going to talk about that as well.
Right.
So those are the people that are at will. Those are the people that he gets to, the union contract determines what the union members make and their steps.
Yeah.
The people that are administrative is what he can determine within budget. I mean, you know, if you can't say I'm going to give her $8 million on our budget is $7 million.
And the way the budgets work with the courts or with the different departments in the county, commissioner set it up.
No.
Well, the commissioners give each department so much money.
So this is what's interesting.
Explain.
All right. Okay.
So
can we first and foremost, can we, before we get into the details of everything, can we talk about first for everyone watching what the accusations are, what is happening, what the article was, what questions they're here to answer.
Let's explain.
Yeah.
Okay, let me.
I was trying to set it.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're here. We'll answer any question. Well, let's do this. We are here on behalf of the clerk of courts today.
Okay.
So anything regarding that election, us taking office, what we're doing, anything in that realm, we will answer. We will not answer.
Oh, Dave says I'm not talking enough. Oh, I'll talk.
You're
Dave.
Fine. Don't.
I will talk.
Dave is making a lot of trolly comments.
Dave, I have to.
Yes.
I don't. Dave, I'm so glad you reposted that because we're going to show how ignorant to everything you are actually about the judge, prosecutor.
Oh yeah, that's no, I see that. That's patently false.
Yeah, Dave is patently, but we have receipts. Don't worry, Dave. We can use Google.
It's not. Yeah,
apparently you can't.
Not hard,
TikTok.
It's fun to see Dave Beatrice. You see him all over the news. He is only human. He is only human.
Well, I mean, if you ask him, he's God. So,
all right, let's see.
All right.
Let's get it.
We'll talk to the clerk of
Dave,
court.
I'm telling you, man. Next week,
I got a misogynist here.
I'll have you in here. You can bring me donuts like you do the news. You can complain about
keyboard
donuts.
warrior.
We can talk about it.
So let's
next
talk.
Week.
So we will be talking about that. There was previous issues with my run for judicial that we've talked about, for municipal court, election contest. We are not talking about that.
We're not going to talk.
However, if you would like to invite us back, if we haven't made you pull your hair out yet, we will come back and talk about that.
So from the article, what are we are
so
not
let's
talking
start,
about what?
Let's start.
Just make it simple.
Issue number one. We
have to make it simple.
We have you put four things. We have the CNS lawsuit, the federal lawsuit that was filed.
I got it. I'm gonna start first.
Yeah, I'm gonna go first.
All right.
We got to dumb it down.
Number one.
We got to dumb it down.
Okay.
Issue number one.
Hey.
Okay.
Yes.
Which was
I believe it was the starting salary for you, Jen, was 100 and some?
120.
120.
Yeah, hold on. Then there was a pay jump, a pay raise a couple weeks later to like 150.
No, 4 months later. But
4 months later.
4 months later, like 150.
Pay raise to 150.
Previous person in that position was making 80, 90, something like that. Right?
Round.
We're setting the pins. We're setting the pins.
Her projected, and once again, the budgets are approved the year before.
Okay.
And I believe it was 94 for this year.
Now this is for Mike, not for you, Jeff.
All right.
So you gotta let Mike answer.
Mike can answer it, but this is what I handle.
But this is your pay though, not so he's the one that did that.
I'm the decider on these, and yeah.
So how, Mike? Now, Jen seems very smart.
She is
very good. How can you justify coming in and saying Jen is going to make $35,000 more than her predecessor, and then 4 months later give her a raise? I mean, that is,
and somebody who before, it says in the comments, I'm sorry, but someone who had more experience in the past.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna lay it out.
Lay it out because that's
I'm gonna lay it out.
Lay it
because all right. So one,
Should
we
I start
cannot.
getting the receipts?
You start getting the receipts, and I'll talk.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
let's hear it.
So
people want to hear.
I hear this. Oh, the previous chief deputy was making $90,000 a year. The previous chief deputy was not doing the amount of work that Jennifer does. And we know that. We have the receipts, as Jennifer says. This office encompasses a lot, and we inherited a lot. It's 4 months into a 4-year term. So when you take a look at this, and you with everything that Jennifer does, all of the responsibilities that she assumed that the previous chief deputy did not do. There's a reason why her title is chief deputy and chief of staff. I came to that conclusion based upon the hours that she's putting in. I mean, the woman starts working at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I don't think she stops until 11 p.m.
So is it a time issue, or is it a time thing which is quantified, or is it different more responsibilities?
More responsibilities, and frankly, I want talented people working for me.
Yeah.
And I can't get talent to be that is astute enough to handle all that we are dealing with at $80,000-$90,000. You can't. Right. I mean, if you had somebody that doesn't have a law degree, they would have to have vast experience with the court system and what it does in order to do what she does. But frankly, I mean, I have somebody here that
did the lady before have a law degree?
She did. Yeah, she does. She does.
What are some of the things
that you just read?
Yeah. What are some of the things that she does that is better than more than the girl before?
Better. Well, here let's
not better, but let's say more.
Right?
More responsibility.
Because I've heard nothing but good things about the lady.
Yes. Yeah, no, and I
mean, I would just say
I'm not here to attack people. I'm not. She's very friendly. Well, I can tell you this. Jennifer is she handles what we have now, and this is going to dovetail into everything else we're talking about. We have this electronic filing mandate that has come into place, Senate Bill 94, that was signed into law by Governor DeWine last year. I believe it was in October. That requires that all clerks of courts in the state make electronic filing mandatory by the end of July of this year. So we come into this, and there is just voluminous things that, frankly, just were not done. That is a big issue. Immense amount of time is spent on that, and I mean, we'll go further into that. I'm just going to try to hit the bullet points. Jennifer goes through judgment entries she actually reads them, and she sees the statute, and then we look at the statute, and then we're finding things that are not in compliance. What I have here, and I don't get.
Why don't you talk about this email?
We have an email. Yeah.
From an email.
So here we go.
I'll read this email.
Okay.
You want to read it? Sure. Yeah. All right.
So I had a brief period training with my predecessor, and she left me notes. But it's called a qualified or certified qualified application for employment. And what it is when someone is convicted of a felony, they have to ask a court, either the court they were convicted in or the court they're a resident of, to conduct this application. And it goes through the judge has to sign off on it, and it's a very specific statute.
No problem. Cool. School first, boys.
Oh yeah,
So,
that's more important.
Yeah.
So it's statute. So statute is what we call laws in Ohio. The Ohio Revised Code. Yeah. So I get it and I read it, and it was a little bit different than how I was told to do it, but the statute outlines it. So there's a association for clerks. I call, and they're like, no, absolutely. So this email it's from Outlook, so it starts at the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it starts with Kathy.
No, it starts with me.
With you, and then you say where you. I don't.
So it says Monday, February 3rd, 2025. 2025 at 6 p.m. 6:16 p.m. Now, mind you, our business operational hours are from 8 to 4:30. Okay. But I'm still. I mean, I have to work. I don't get overtime.
We're loan officers, real estate agents. We work all the time.
Yeah. So I say, please see attached. So
And then
and now
attached is this
my
page?
predecessor went to this. We go to the second page.
Okay.
My predecessor is now essentially our legal counsel, and she goes, "Hi, Jen."
And this is
Kathy
Kathy
McNabb
Yes,
Welsh,
Okay,
she's now the
who
chief of the
who was chief
prosecuting
deputy,
department.
and now
Okay.
she's in the civil division.
So this is the lady who was in your position before.
Correct.
Got it.
And
Yep,
now
go
she's
ahead.
the
Okay.
prosecutor we respond
Yep.
to. I go, "Hi." She goes, "Hi, Jen. This notice needs to go to Franklin County Prosecutor as her convictions are from the county. Please let me know if you have any questions, Kay."
Okay.
So then I
And you
respond. This CQE was sent to Franklin County Prosecutor, Sheriff, Franklin County Court of Police, Adult Parole Authority, and Mahoning County pursuant to, and I cite the revised
Yeah.
code 2953.25. Your office was served to same revised code B5B,
Okay.
which says that you have to also serve the prosecutor of the county which it is filed.
Okay.
That's what the law says.
Okay.
I got to follow the law.
So it has to. It's not supposed to go to you. It's supposed to go to a different place.
No.
Right.
It's Kathy's telling me they don't need it because they weren't the lady lived in Mahoning County, but the convictions were in Franklin County.
Oh, okay, got it.
So she's saying we don't have any information,
Oh, okay,
but I'm
yeah.
saying the law says I have to send it to you anyway. You can throw it away, do whatever, but that's
Got
what the law says.
Got it.
She goes, "I'm still thinking the county referred to would be the county wherein the conviction occurred. We would have no information regarding the fence." I'm not saying the law says I have to serve you. Now,
Yes.
this is the lady who served my job for 30 years.
Okay.
It's fighting with me
Okay.
about, and I
So-
sent her an email just as a courtesy. No, let's go.
I would agree.
go,
We should be served as well.
No.
Well,
I go,
yeah.
"Thank you for your prompt responses. Your guidance and diligence is always appreciated.
Yeah.
This statute could definitely use some revisions. I spoke to Michael this morning, and he is researching the matter as he interprets the statute as needing to serve your office as well.
Okay.
We will continue to send courtesy copies out of abundance of cautions, and we will seek advisory opinions from the other clerks, which is that clerk association.
Okay.
Thank you for that."
Mhm.
And she goes, "I would agree we should be served as well."
So
So this is two county people fighting over
whether she should be served. or not.
served or not, like spending
Like,
time on it, but ultimately
Yeah.
the law says
So
it.
you're saying that there's like a beef, so to speak, between you and Kathy.
There's not a beef.
Or
It-
just
There's no beef.
the thing is that my predecessor was doing things the way that they're not supposed to. And once again, we have other receipts that
so you're saying she wasn't doing it the right way, and you deserve that pay raise because you're doing it the correct way.
I don't deserve.
Or yes, more.
So essentially what happened was Michael looked at the budget, and I'm going to all candidness.
Yeah.
He had every intention of retaining and went personally to speak with each one of them. And
Absolutely.
two people lied to him straight in the face.
Yeah.
And we know that because we got their emails. But he's like, "I would like to keep you. You guys have made this office work,
Okay.
and I want you to train me. Like, I want you." And they're both like, "Yeah." The one said, "I'll stay through February and
Okay.
maybe looking at other options." That's Miss McNabb Welsh.
Mhm.
Scott
Okay.
said, "Yeah, I'm absolutely Scott Grosson. I'm going to go. I would like to stay." And he goes, "Great." And everyone's like, "Oh, you're going to be his chief deputy." I'm like, "No, that's like a huge pay cut." Like,
Yeah.
I say it how it is. You need someone. And once again, Kathy is very nice. Everyone's like, "We don't see you in the hallways like her." And I'm like, "How do you have time to be in the hallways? Like, all I do is just email and you solve problems." However, signed up. So, what was it? The first week of December, Michael calls me and goes, "I have a problem." And I go, "Well, what problem is it?" And he goes, "Kathy has accepted job elsewhere and she's leaving.
Yes.
Would you be considered?" And I'm like, "Well, what does it pay?" He goes, "Well, I also found out that Scott is leaving the same day he told me."
Yes, I asked him. I asked him that day, are you going to be staying on?
And then
he
sent
said
an-
yes. And then he sent a mass email to the entire clerk staff a few hours later stating that he was taking the position of the
So
court
he
administrator
So,
of the county
and
court.
Scott was making $1,000 less. So their combined salaries were $180,000.
Yeah.
So I go, "Oh boy, that's a pickle, man." And he goes, "Will you do it?" And he's like, "I'm looking at it right now." And
So you're essentially taking the two
no,
losing two people and you're replacing.
no. It gets better.
Yeah, it gets better.
So I go, "Okay, well," and he goes, "I'm looking at it." And he goes, so Luke started asking a question, and then we wanted to focus because I was yelling at Dave Beatrice, and I
Mhm.
appreciate you focusing on the important topics.
Right.
So
Trying
he
to.
has to, with budgets, the way it is that the previous around September, they submit the
The proposed budget
they
to the
said-
county
So the
commissioners.
previous regime
In September.
administration submitted the budget. They go with it, they talk with the commissioners, they have their things, and the commissioners then approve it. We have two budgets because we have the title budget, which is heavily mandated because they're tied in with the BMV and state organizations.
Yeah.
And then we have our operating budget. Two different budgets allotted for different things.
Mhm.
They approve it. We have no say in it. They didn't advise us. And once again, this was approved in pieces, but during and even after the election, he was never invited. So the previous
Mhm.
administration approved our operating budget.
Yeah.
We have all that. So that's the money we have to work with. Now, what generally happens in Mahoning County is they try to be on the low side. And then if they need more money, they reach out to the commissioners and ask. And then you
Yeah.
have to justify it, explain why it's going on. Clerk Ciccone doesn't want to ask the commissioner. So he looked at whatever he said and he's like, I can offer you 120, which breaks down to what was it, like $56 an hour.
Yeah.
Now, an indigent attorney makes $75 an hour, meaning if you get court appointed,
Yeah.
the commissioners say that's the rate that you get paid is 75. So it's
That's the
actually
rate that was set in 2020
So
by the Board
for
of
the people
Commissioners.
saying you're the highest paid, what was it? Joe, I don't even have
so the judges make here we
There's
have
a nice
the
little chart that's online.
yeah
highest paid in the county or
Breaks down-
whatever.
Yeah, well, that's
no, that's incorrect. And actually you can Google it.
Where is
They're
that?
not including they're going by salaries. The top two people that were paid out last year were deputies because of overtime. So-
As Beatrice said, highest paid attorney in Mahoning County.
oh, so he makes less than
I mean, that's-
$156,000.
ironically, yeah, it's
Any-
Yeah, keep
anyway,
going. Sorry.
yes.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to look through here.
So
So then the other comment that Joe pulled up, the whole email thing with Kathy justifies Jennifer being paid more than $50K more.
No,
No,
that's
no,
just
no,
one
that's
little
just-
nugget.
Justify her
That's one
being
little
the third
nugget.
highest paid employee in the district.
well, first of all, I'm not the third highest paid. But and let's I want to stay on track and we'll
Yeah.
get to all those.
Mhm.
Okay.
So that's just like a small realm of things that we have dealt with that we had to correct.
Okay.
The title division had some issues, but once again, we didn't know because there's clicks everywhere. So you're having and we're seeing issues. We're seeing some significant issues. We're looking at those two supervisors are no longer there.
Okay.
So I now am the
And they haven't been replaced.
no.
Okay.
They are
And they supervise, like you said, they supervise the lady who was there before you, right? That's what
the title.
It's a
The-
separate,
the-
separate
this
division.
is title.
Yeah.
There
Okay.
used to be three. There was
Sorry,
two.
it's a lot. I am no.
There is a
Well,
lot.
once again, because they failed to
Right.
report it. So the title division is technically set up for the budget to have a director and two assistant supervisors.
Okay.
We got there. There was a director and assistant supervisor. Those employees are no longer with us,
Yeah.
and so I am now the
basically
their
doing their work,
supervisor work.
is what they're
One
doing.
was making 70,000
And the other around 60.
Around
That's
60.
including the benefits and all.
and that's not including the benefits.
Oh,
Oh,
were they public employees too? Beatrice is saying you're a public employee.
I'm a public employee.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were they those other people?
They were at will
Okay.
public employees.
Okay,
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
So-
that piece together.
So I'm now I work remotely out of title.
Yeah.
I do and then Sam's leaving. He makes
Close
69,000,
to
I think.
70. Mhm.
And he's not being replaced.
Got it.
So we're still learning, we're still figuring out
Yeah.
what areas are covered and what areas need to be covered,
Yeah.
which is why we brought in Ryan as the
So-
director of operations.
So that's why there's a comment here that's actually good. Why haven't any of those multiple openings and positions been filled? The title office is inundated and having to
Oh, it's
close its
Peggy.
doors
Peggy.
early
Peggy.
to
She
deal
actually
with the
quit.
public title transfer.
She quit.
Hello, Peggy.
Lied about why she quit. So that was an interesting input thing. But
So
what-
why? So I guess the question would become:
they have been? We've
Yeah, all
hired-
three have been
filled.
filled.
so if all three positions have been filled and they're doing those jobs, why?
Those are-
That's confusing because if you're making more money, why don't you just
They're
make
different
Those are the
positions.
people that work at the counter.
There are different positions.
Those
Those
are
are
union
union
positions.
contract deputy clerks. They're not the supervisors.
Yeah, but wasn't the argument that like you're doing the work of the three people? So
No. There's 6 people. There were
Okay.
so when
Well,
we So there's 3 deputy clerk positions.
Yeah.
Those are the people that work at the court. They're the union people that work the counter and
Okay.
deal with the public.
Yeah.
In my opinion, they are grossly underpaid as well, but we all have a union contract that we can deal with. We can't, and we're going to go to the commissioners. And then there's the 3 supervisors. So we replaced the deputy clerks. And that's a very good question why they weren't replaced. Those positions were vacated, at least 2, I think, were vacated, or maybe one.
There was one that was
before.
vacated in
The
July
union contract
of
is very
2024.
specific how you have to hire. You have to circulate it internally. You have to then circulate it. Then you have to give notice. I mean, once again, we're dealing with a government. The 3 deputy clerks are fully staffed. They're fully staffed. The 3 supervisors are no longer have not been replaced.
Have kids.
So no, I understand completely.
So
I mean, there's
a 2 to 3 hour wait. Why? Because a lot of people want to use our title office because it's efficient. They get titles
And
done.
did you?
The government
I
isn't
don't know if you
exactly
guys are, I'm
efficient.
totally walking in.
Okay, so
Did you guys cut people though from the title offices? Did people leave?
there were
people that-
the 2 supervisors are
Two
no longer with
supervisors.
I
us.
guess the question is, are there less people working now than there were
Prior.
prior when you weren't working?
Yes,
Are you
Okay.
looking to hire more people?
not at this time.
So
So the people that are no longer there, I guess the combination of their income or their salary, is it less than your new salary?
Oh, that's $350,000
Okay.
of salaries that.
Okay. So
Are-
that's the argument then, right?
Well, it's
That
not.
there's-
It's not
there's
an
still-
argument. It is the why it was reasonable. So what?
Right.
And you asked. Once again, it's hard because there's so many. It's
Oh my
so
God,
hard.
there's so many moving
You
parts.
don't know
My
about
brain
this.
is like,
So what? Here's the fun part. So with the title division, I work remotely there.
Yeah.
Because I'm their direct supervisor. I do the payroll. We have acting supervisors who are wonderful, and I can tell you, there's not one person that I wouldn't go get an M1 assault for that works for us. I mean, we have the best employees in Mahoning County. They work hard. They stay in their own lanes. There's not a lot of nibby stuff. I mean, they are amazing employees. We are so proud to have them to call us our employees or call them our team members. So regarding that, though, he is down there daily. I am down there a couple days a week because I assume those roles.
yeah.
So once again, it goes back to kind of like the friends and family. The at-will jobs are the ones that, you can hand out. There's no reason to pay 2 people $150,000 to do a job that I have been maintaining and actually fixing. And once again, you asked what are the reasonableness. So prior to our regime or us taking office, but shortly after us taking office, we get a call. And it's a whopper. So our deputy clerks, there's the front line, and then we have auditors. Someone comes in with a new car who paid $10,000 down, and then they registered the lien. They bought it from a Mahoning County dealer.
Pennsylvania resident.
They're Pennsylvania,
Mhm.
but it gets tricky because they are a Pennsylvania resident. So they come in, we register the title. Human error, the lien doesn't get registered. The car dealership calls and says, someone owes us $47,000. So we call the Clerk Association and we say, what we can fix? They're like, well, you're kind of screwed. You have these options. So we're going back and forth. The one option is to call the client and come in and see if we could have
PennDOT.
see if the person who bought the car that lives in PA will come in and let us reissue it with the Ohio title also, and then transfer it to PA with the lien. Or we can contact the PA BMV, their version of it, and see if they will coordinate it to make it more convenient for them, and then contact the owner of the car. Or you can contact the owner of the car. The owner of the car could tell you, go F yourselves because I have a free car now and it's your problem. And then the car dealership would sue the county. So they paid $25,000 in attorney fees. And if the car insurance didn't cover it, we would be on the hook for it because it was human error, but it's still a mistake.
Yeah.
So I spent 4 days, 5 days between
roughly,
trying to
it
call
was,
the government and this
3 to 4
person and
days.
explain it, and was able to get the PA to coordinate it closest to them, send the paperwork on, voluntarily get the guy to come in and register the lien, and it was fixed.
Yeah.
The car dealership was made whole. The lien, we had a citizen who is a good person and an honest person that was like, I understand. If we could do it in PA, I would really appreciate it, because going to OKO is a little bit out of my way. And we did it. And that the issue with that was this was during when we still had the 2 other supervisors.
Okay.
And I was doing it. Because they said, we don't know. We didn't have time to be on the phones. I'm not sure what it was, just, so I ended up handling it.
Okay.
And it's fine. I can do it. It's part of my job. I'm chief of staff. And so we were.
I just want. I know it's so much, man.
But that's why that's what the issue is. It is.
It's gonna get chaotic.
It's going to get chaotic, but we're actually
Thank you for
saving.
calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line. Please enter your show or
guess.
meeting number and press
I
pound.
mean, I know you guys are trying to prove what you're doing. I know
We
that,
don't need-
but there's a lot of comments, and I don't know how many. You got to go through the trolls. You got to get through the politics of it all, right? But it's like,
That's somehow why they are staying.
You did not
out
enter a
because
number.
courthouse
Goodbye.
closes.
Because we're working.
Well, it doesn't cost the thing anything.
No, it
I
doesn't
don't
cost
get
them anything.
overtime, and we have key fobs that let us in and out.
I don't get
and the
overtime. I don't
deputy
get
doesn't
sick.
pay.
we're going to open up the phones now. Here's
Thank
the deal
you
with
for
these
calling
phones.
Call-In Studios host and call screener
Be
line.
polite. Don't be ignorant.
Enter your
Beatrice,
6-digit
Oh,
phone number.
close.
Beatrice, listen to me. Be nice.
My phone.
Be polite.
Be respectful.
Be respectful.
Welcome,
Beatrice,
host.
you can have your.
You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the
Yeah.
Call-In Studio
I
web
would save you a
interface.
call for next
But just real quick, because he keeps making this comment, so before, let's just get it out of the way. So if you Google elected officials, they're set by statute,
the pay.
the pay.
Correct.
So
Correct.
the prosecutor for the calendar year of 2025, who does not,
Joe, they're saying they hear the phone line.
who does not
Okay.
have a private practice, which to my knowledge, Attorney Morrow does not have a private practice any longer, makes $156,066. So I make less than her.
Okay.
The prosecutor, right?
Also, I do not take the county benefits. My husband has benefits, and that saves the county money
Yeah.
as well.
Yes.
So going down once again, she says I make more than county judges. Well, that's cool too, because you have a common pleas
pulled it up.
fee schedule, a county pleas judge, and it goes by the size of the county.
Yes.
So we're a class 4, $163,792.
What's that?
What
Common police
a
court
judge, what a judge makes.
Okay.
So I make 156 as of right now. So it's intrinsically, like if you read the law,
How much? Can I ask how much? Yeah, I can ask. You're a public. How much do you make?
Yeah. So through the county, it's 113, and then I'm compensated by the court of for my service as clerk of the Court of Appeals for Mahoning County, and that's around $11,400. So around $124,000.
So she makes more than you?
She does.
She's under you?
Yes. Elected officials can't give themselves a raise.
That never happened.
oh, well, actually,
Being a loan
Wait.
officer at your branch, if you
Yeah.
imagine I was making
Yeah.
156 and you were making 120.
well, once again, we
Never happened.
contacted the different clerks all over the smaller counties, bigger counties, and actually, it is quite common
Yeah, it's
for
not
the
unusual.
chief deputy, especially if they're an attorney and they have several rules, they make more than the elected official.
Yeah. Lynn,
And
this is
other
not a husband
departments
and
as
wife
well,
team.
not just
They're
the
not
clerk.
related.
They're not related at all. Just same last
Yeah,
name.
it's not husband and wife.
It only makes it more confusing.
Yeah, that does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't do any favors for sure.
Is
Okay, so
Michael
that is
Jennifer's
common.
puppet?
Yeah. No, I'm nobody's puppet. Okay, Thomas. Sorry.
Yeah. So
So to say that I make more than judges and is factually incorrect. And actually,
Yeah, there's my wife.
There's
my lovely wife is on.
okay,
Hello, dear.
It says I'm his wife.
so
Yeah.
she's claiming him. And one other fun fact is that consider the sources. And this is why we came on here, because you guys wear the good, bad, and ugly. You'll drill us. You'll
don't
say
care.
it doesn't
Right,
make sense.
right.
You'll make comments about it.
Right.
And you're learning a lot more than what you thought it was. But also, we've learned, you know, that people will only report what they want, the news media.
They're afraid of certain things.
Well,
The mainstream news media does.
They make manufactured crisis to divert under the serious stuff that's going on. So
and to give you can sit here and it's super confusing, but we can sit here for an hour. The news doesn't have an hour.
The news would talk to us for 50 hours, but they will report live.
Here's the thing with the pay. So just let's move on from the pay. So summary of the pay. Here's the summary of the pay. Summary of the pay is Michael, who's in charge.
I'm the decider.
Deems Jen's worth is at the salary she is making.
Right.
She's doing the job good enough, and she's doing enough of the job and has stacked on enough employment or hours and worth
that he thinks
that verifies the fact that she deserves 150.
Whether or not you at home agree with
Correct.
That's your decision to make.
Right. And if you don't agree with that, down the road, when Michael wins re-election.
Right. It's in 2028.
2028. Wow, you were there for
it's 4-year term.
So 4-year term. If you don't agree with that,
that's They can, vote me out of office. They can vote me out of office. I'm not a career politician. So I'm not. I see this with a lot of people that claim to not be politicians. And it seems like they get in once they're elected, it's always a re-election. They're always into the re-election mode. I'm concerned about right now. I'm concerned about this month. I'm concerned about this year.
Right.
And getting this office under control.
Because we know they're not going to air it correctly. And here's the other thing. Consider the source. So we did public records requests because we knew that the news misreported it. I used to think they did it on purpose. I just think they're idiots. That I'm by salary, I'm the third highest paid. I'm actually the second highest paid. For transparency,
can't read an Excel sheet.
They can't read an Excel sheet because the first one says name. So they literally can't even get the facts straight.
Could be confusing.
But once
it's not that confusing.
It's not that confusing. I mean,
probably make that mistake.
But here's the thing: at the end of the day,
I'm the 6th best loan officer in Ohio.
It's this salary, and I don't make overtime. I don't make, I don't have that. I don't have vacation time. I don't have that. So,
right.
That's what it is. And we're well within our operating budget. We're saving money.
That's the thing. And it's like, you're within your budget. Nothing illegal is going on. So therefore it comes down to, and this is the way I'm absorbing this. Therefore it comes down to, if I don't like the fact that he's paying you that much money, I can complain about it. I mean, I could go to the commissioners and complain, but they don't set that either, correct?
They have no say.
They have no say in it.
Well, they have say in the budget.
In the budget, but not in the actual, like, I couldn't go to Gino and Rigetti.
Right.
Rigetti probably wouldn't talk to me, but I could go to Gino and Trafficani and say, hey, I'm unhappy with this. And all they're going to say is, hey, go to you. You're the elected
Correct.
official.
I am the county executive, and I run my office as I deem what is fit and what is appropriate. And I mean, I know I see all the critics here.
Yeah.
I see all of that, but I was elected by nearly 54,000 people to make these decisions. And I am going to make the decisions as I deem them to be appropriate and fit. I could not get somebody at the rate that the former chief deputy had for what Jennifer, it's the cost benefit. I mean, I can't get the talent for that. There's people, I do the job for $1,000 a week. Well, come on over. Come see what we deal with. Come see the voluminous nature of what we deal with.
Yeah, I mean, as a branch manager of a mortgage department, and Isaac will vouch for this. So I pay somebody a very good salary to process our loans, which would be impossible to get somebody else to do that, and our branch would completely fall apart.
Right, if we didn't have
Tracy
left in line. Yeah,
I mean, we'd be done. So I mean, I totally understand.
I mean, he isn't making 156, but
she's not close to that. You could probably go work at Starbucks.
We're getting, because they missed it. They didn't report all the facts, and they bent the truth. We're getting death threats.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting.
Who was what station was that?
What,
It was the
War and Tribune, Miss
Tribune,
Chronicle,
Miss Chronicle,
Vindicator Edition.
And what did they do? What exactly did they say wrong?
Third.
Well, they said third.
Third.
Two, there, and someone brought it up, and we can talk about that.
Mhm.
Heather McGuff, exactly. It was a weird article.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were asking questions, and when you were trying to explain to them, first of all, they were stopping us in the middle of a workday when
Mhm.
there's always issues. There's always
it's
something
the,
else.
see,
Frank,
the name thing. The
The
name,
name
too.
thing is the other thing.
They're not related.
People just
I'm not the
second
husband,
nature. They're
Frank.
not married.
I'm not married. My beloved wife is on the chat.
Yeah,
She's
they're
at home with
not
my,
related
with
at all.
my 3
Not
children.
Oh, by the
Yeah.
way, so once again, we can talk.
We're not
we're here to
related.
throw shade at other.
Isaac and I are.
My goodness, I
That's
think
my
we may be
brother.
the only people. I mean, there's so many
But-
people in that question related.
There's only 2 people related in this room.
There-
We don't look alike, but we are related.
So, and
Hello.
Oh, hey, we got a caller.
All right.
Go ahead, caller. What's your question?
Oh, hi. My name's Sergio, and thank you so much for the call.
Sergio.
First of all, I want to say I'm very empathetic towards Jennifer and Michael. I understand how the media can sometimes cancel people, and so I appreciate the work that you're putting into all of this. My question is, and by the way, I completely understand that it's Michael's decision to pay however he wants to pay Jennifer.
No.
I'm wondering how it works, Jennifer, with your own practice. How does that work when you're still practicing law?
Sergio, I'm sorry. I missed the last part right there when you said you understand it's
Yeah,
Michael's
look,
office.
But
and
I
couldn't
was
hear.
wondering. I was wondering how it works because Jennifer, I would like to understand a little bit better how
It's very polite.
Jennifer combines her private practice with the job she's doing at the Clerk of Courts.
There we go.
Oh, okay. So I guess that's
Good
my
I guess
question.
it's- yeah, that's for her.
So we're permitted. It's up to the elected official. He said I'm permitted to have a private practice. We went through and we can discuss that. I'm sure there's going to be other questions. As an unexempt employee, I have to put in 40 hours a week. And I have to account for that. It's unfortunately, when we keep getting prepared, some people weren't putting in 40 hours a week. I put in an average of 86 hours a week.
Wow.
However, operational hours are 8 to 4:30. So when I have to report to, so not only Michael does it, but Steve Horger, who does our payroll, I have to keep track. So if I have a hearing, I say I'm leaving, I track the time and that, so they can keep track of where I was and how long I was there for, because then I have to supplement it where this is where, I was here to, and once again, with key card access cameras, you can tell. I mean, if I say I'm here to 7:30, you pull the records
Right.
and see. So I have to make 40 hours a week. I do way more. Why do we do way more? Especially with e-filing, which is a new thing that has to be implemented by July. Our vendors are in Utah, so they're a couple hours behind us. And if we have to run testing or have questions, we don't want to do it during operational hours. So if something happens and it goes down, so we stay late. We do phone calls at 9 o'clock at night with Equivant, curfew. So I have to count for it. So as long as I put in 40 hours,
You're good.
I'm good. If I don't put in 40 hours, I have to state why, and then I don't get compensated for that.
Okay.
So the county does not pay me if I don't make
So,
40 times.
so one of the questions was, or one of the issues, or one of the accusations, where you were doing court work or covering cases or whatever you guys call it, while you were a deputy clerk of courts you were doing attorney work in the courts you were working as a deputy.
Correct.
True or false?
True. So
Were you
100%
told
true.
not to?
No. Actually, I have the email. I have
Because I heard there was
So-
a rumor out there that a letter went out saying
So-
You
were
have
the
an email.
stop.
We
wait.
don't even need to go through.
No,
You
no,
have
no.
an email
Yeah,
stating that-
but you can put this up if you want to.
Okay.
So what happened was, once again, I asked. So there's two different. There's the Board of Professional Conduct. They provide non-binding recommendations, and then there's the Office of Disciplinary Counsel. They said you are not permitted to practice in courts that you serve as clerk as.
Who said that?
Professional. That's their opinion.
Who?
The Board of Professional
Your conduct.
Conduct.
However,
It's an arm of the Supreme Court of Ohio.
Yeah, seventh grade. So,
Why
Why
did
did-
that?
so because of a statute or a law.
Okay.
They said, however, this happens all the time. Judges,
Okay.
elected officials that preclude it. You're allowed a reasonable time to wind down. So,
So Michelle,
okay, well, hold on. That's Michelle. She sends that.
Salvino, Mahoning County Domestic Relations Court, Mahoning County Courthouse. Okay, so
she works for
she basically
Judge Smith.
says, greetings, Jen. Our records show that you have 2 pending cases in our court. There's case 1, case 2. Judge Smith is permitting you to finish these 2 cases. Thank you, Michelle. So
And that was sent on April 2nd
Mhm.
at 4:30.
4:30 p.m. And then you
And then she responds again because there was another case.
Hi, Jennifer. I left 1 case off the list when I sent the email below. DeFlorio, just another case. And then she said, Michelle, same person. And then you respond with, thanks for sending. So 3 cases. Thanks for sending the follow-up email. I completely missed your first one. I swear over 100 emails a day. It's crazy. Lisco is resolved. There is a separation agreement and a shared parenting plan circulating. Charles Straders is taking over DeFlorio. You just received it. So you received the email that you can work
And
on
I-
3 cases during that to finish up
Cor-
before you move forward
Correct.
to your new position.
So the Office of Professional Conduct said, don't take any new cases, and you should have a reasonable time to wind up because, and
Makes
then we get disciplined because there's basically 2 rules as an attorney. You can't F your clients,
Right.
literally
So
or
if
figuratively.
you left in the middle of it, you'd
So,
be
and these
screwing your client.
cases were filed in the beginning of 2024, but domestic cases
It
take
takes forever.
longer.
Yeah, no, I
Civil.
get that.
So they said go to each judge or magistrate and see how they want to do it.
Yeah.
All of them had questions, some had it, and God bless her, Judge Delic was the best one. She was calling in to make sure she understood because we don't serve as their clerk.
Right.
So I can practice in Youngstown Municipal Court, probate, all that stuff because we're not their clerks.
We're not the clerk for juvenile court, probate
So-
court.
So and all the judges and magistrates said, if we talked about what would be a reasonable time given the cases, and it was kind of like the 90 to 120 day
Yeah.
issue, which would been put us at like the end of April.
Okay.
So what happened there? So I have emails, and I have this
These
in
emails
April
were in April.
saying because we're getting close, and most of those were set for the end of the April to be done.
Yeah.
Got the email. No problem. No one's given me any problem. And so regarding the raise, every employee as a union, and Clerk Ciccone now is doing it for supervisors too, is that after 120 days, they sit down, they go over what they want, like where they're going, what they like, if it, a job review, a job audit.
Yeah.
That's where the pay thing. So it's around the same time. So someone leaked that I got the raise. So they go, and unbeknownst to me, the Judge Smith sits down and has an interview with Ed Runyon. That's great. That's, and says that even though she's doing something illegal, we came to an off the record agreement. But so once again,
So she's stating that you're doing something illegal when you got permission to do it.
from her court. That's that thing.
Mhm.
So, and how I know this is that I get accosted by Ed Runyon. So I fly up to Judge Smith and I go, "Excuse me, like what? I'm not doing anything illegal.
I have emails.
I have emails. We consented. We have all this." She's like, "I know." Now, mind you, in March, Michael, tell her.
Oh, yes.
In March.
In March,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, in March, she then unilaterally.
Well,
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Back in March, she changed her mind.
she summoned you in March.
Yes, it was in March. She called me in, showed me the revised code, which I was quite familiar with. And so, she had it highlighted, and she's like, Jen can't be practicing in the court, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then
Wait, Judge Smith in March said this?
yes.
So
And
then
then she was summoned to appear.
we meet with her in December. We say this is what we're going. This is what professional conduct who makes non-binding, and then disciplinary counsel. This is the collective thought. Reasonable time, get the cases done, because our ultimate duty is to our clients.
Sure.
She agrees. In March, she brings up this statute, which we discussed, and then tells him that she is not going to permit me to practice. So Michael comes down and he goes, "You're not permitted to practice anymore in Smith. I know that was not the agreement." And I go, okay. So I have some very uncomfortable and upset clients, because when you pick an attorney, you like your attorney. And regardless of what people say, my clients appear to like me. They keep coming back. They have,
Right.
So they're upset, and I'm like, I have other local attorneys helping, taking fees, we're like all that. And then a week and a half later, I get this email that she now decided that I can stay because by April.
Yeah, this is permitting you to
But then
finish.
I have to call all of them back and be like, "Do you want to stay with?" And they're like, "No, we want you." And so now I'm looking like a little
Weird.
And so I send them this email so they know, like, they have the warm and feels.
What?
The day of trial on the one case is when they issue, like, the magistrate saying that I'm disqualified because I'm practicing against law.
So it's after this email they say you're disqualified?
It was April 29th.
Okay.
And then they issue, which is what they refer to in some of the articles.
So they went back and forth twice now, because they said originally you can't, then
like
you can,
4 times.
and later in April they said you can't.
And then they do it. And then they issue this without me knowing. My clients then call me hysterical because we're setting for trial, and it gets kicked out again.
So these are the ones where the news reported saying you were missing court cases then, right? Didn't I hear that?
They said that I was illegally practicing, and I'm no longer permitted.
Wow.
Right. I remember seeing that too.
Okay. So you were actually permitted per Judge Smith.
So it's back and forth and back and forth.
Correct. And once again, we come with receipts. Like, I'm not trying to do anything nefarious. I accounted for all my time.
Yeah.
And if you go and public records request especially in January and beginning of February, when I was really pushing the cases through, my paychecks were significantly lower because I don't have.
So these emails, this person and the other person who told you could, this person told you could, the other person told you couldn't later on. Does that person who told you later on you can't keep practicing, is that person higher up on the totem pole than this person?
So that's her chief deputy and then the judge. But she says in the first one, Judge Smith. And this is after Judge Smith had a meeting with my boss, and he told me, you have to get off the cases. We have to be uncomfortable.
Okay.
And 2 weeks later, she then permits.
Jen, how can you represent anybody if you're working 80 hours a week though? How can you even do that?
Because my emails start at about 4:45 in the morning. Because I have VPN access, and then
after these 3 cases though, you're done, right? You just focus on your other job, right?
I can maintain a small practice, but what I'm doing is transition.
Real fast. Heidi. Sorry, boys, get better guests. The reason we're doing this is to hear their side. If you don't like our guests,
you don't have to watch
the off button.
Yeah, that's
right.
Go away.
Yeah. And if you disagree with them, we'll hear Beatrice's opinion next week.
Podcasters, if you think we care, you and the other 134 people are watching. All of you that don't like this,
you don't have to watch it, man.
Go away.
Yeah, you don't have to watch it.
Thanks for tuning in.
We're not the news.
We're not the news. We don't do this for you.
I'm not gonna get offended. I don't care.
I like it. I want to see what people have.
We're allowed to do what we want.
Is the one that
hey, did you ever see Tom Brokaw do that, Heidi?
This is Good Citizen. Is that Gino's wife?
I don't know.
Denise?
No, related.
Okay. She always says that's Good Citizen. It's one of the things. But Peggy
Joe,
Gollings.
can we get some more calls in here? I guess people are trying to call.
She left.
Hello?
I didn't take it.
Something's up with our phones, guys. I don't know.
Sorry, we're working on it. We're trying.
We'll come back.
We had to.
There's
for
a
those
lot
who
here.
don't watch, we had to change the studio around to fit 4 people because typically it's 2 camera angles. I'm sitting over there, Luke's sitting over here, so it is
Yeah, it's a mess.
This is a learning thing for us.
You
So.
can submit our questions, and we can even do like a live.
Hello.
Fan.
Oh, hey,
Oh, here we
caller,
go.
go ahead.
Great.
Oh, hi. Hi. It's Sergio again. I just
Sergio.
had a follow-up because I believe that Jennifer was mentioning how she puts in her time whenever she's practicing law. And there was someone on Facebook that said that you were in court on April 30th. And I think this was, let me see, at the juvenile court. Do you remember if that was the case?
I was in that week. I don't know if it was April 30th, but I was in juvenile that week. Yes.
So what's interesting is that I pulled out the public records, and you have no personal time that week. All you have is sick time.
I don't have.
So
I don't
just
have
explain.
personal time because I have to prove that I work 80 hours a week.
80
It does
hours
not
a-
have to
yeah.
be or
A pay
40 hours a week. It has to be 40 hours a week. So on the day that I believe, I can check right now if you don't mind. Give me 30 seconds because I can look at my calendar when I was there to make sure we're speaking facts.
While you
I
do
was
that,
there.
Okay.
I was there April 30th, which was last Wednesday, and had a pretrial. The pretrial lasted about 45 minutes. It's about 10 minutes down from court. I left a little bit early to be there on time to talk to my client. So I
completely get
subtracted an
that
hour
you
and a
have-
half of time off of that day. So then I had to count it, and April 30th.
So just one thing. I have the public record, and it says here that you took sick time.
Well,
So
I-
my question to you is,
I took sick time.
federal law under the Fair Labor Standards Act, that means that you're breaking federal law by not properly accounting for your time,
Well,
which means that you are breaking the law, and it is something illegal,
sir.
is it not?
all right, I'm not breaking the law. My husband had a surgery at 3:15 that day. So I then, and you can ask Dr. Ricciuti, sat there with my laptop and worked and continued to work the rest of the day. So my hour and a half of sick time was to take my husband to an outpatient surgery. So that's absolutely within the realm of sick time. My hour and a half for the juvenile court was accounted for by later emails and other things, not only on that day, supplementing. Actually, I think Gary Ricciuti was texting me all day
I think
on
it's Jerry,
that.
isn't Jerry?
Whatever, who cares? Whatever his name is. Not worth remembering to me, apparently. So it wasn't take sick time. And actually I provided the documentation to Michael for
Yes.
just the justification of sick time. But yeah, my husband was having surgery.
I'm sorry that I understand that your husband was sick, and I get it. What I don't understand is that looking at the records, there is no, you're saying that you're accounting for the time that you are practicing law during regular hours, but there is no record of that, at least in the month of April, not in the month of March. The only time that it says some unpaid time is in January and a little bit on February. So this is where I'm a little confused,
Yes.
because if you're saying that you're accounting your time that you're dedicating to your personal practice, and yet the public records show something different.
So because, well, first of all, I don't know who you didn't request them from our office because I do them. So I don't know where you get your public records. But once again, we use executime and munis as a supervisor and non-exempt employee. We don't have to clock in. Our standard hours are 8 to 4:30. However, if my boss signs off on my paycheck, which is Michael P. Ciccone and Steve Horger, who is the payroll, I show them that I worked 40 hours a week. And then if I don't work 40 hours a week, I show them the hours I work, and then they approve it. So the auditor, I don't have to clock in and out, and nor does those are the capabilities for them because I'm a non-exempt employee. what I can say is that I count for my boss, who wants to know that I am well, first of all, he knows because he's there just as late as I am.
Indeed.
That I'm working well over 40 hours, but we still do that because it is, if he's signing his name to it, he wants to know that I've been working. He knows it, but I did take sick time because my husband had surgery.
So, okay.
So I think
thank you, Cola, for calling in
here from the issues at hand. I mean,
we're talking. So we're getting to the point. We're getting to the point where we're talking in circles, and it's like, she's getting paid a certain amount, and people are saying the pay doesn't justify what she's doing. If you don't agree with that, what it ultimately boils down to is this man made the decision that she deserves that amount of money, and if you don't agree with that, in the future you can vote him out of office.
Well, and here it is. In Motley Foolery here, he says, folks, they haven't justified her salary, and you're letting her off the hook. I assume you're talking to me. We said at the beginning, we're going to let them talk, give their side.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
You decide. I'm not going to sit here and keep going at
personally attack them like you guys are in the comments. We're not going to personally attack these people that we have as guests on our show.
What your guests are saying.
No, Jeff. I'll take care. Hold on, caller. 1 second, Jeff. What Luke flipped off is somebody insulted us when they said get better guests. That's an insult to us. So who Luke is flipping off is, if you don't like the guests we get on our show, you don't like us, don't watch the show. We're not the news. We don't have to have these people on, and you don't have to watch. And we appreciate you for being here, but screw you if you think that we don't like try and get good guests on our show. Screw it. You don't have to watch us.
That's the point.
That's the beauty of the MLO Bros. You don't have to watch.
This isn't a new
go away, or don't insult us.
What I like to point out is that this was a topic that the news thought was important to bring their attention to.
Right.
We knew we were never going to get justified to be able to explain it or them report it accurately. You give us a chance. And quite frankly, off the rip, you guys were basically... I mean, I still don't think we told you why I'm getting my money. That's fine. And we don't have to tell you on it.
Here's the thing. For me, and I think, I don't know enough about this job nor do I want to.
I was
to say if she deserves to make $156,000. Right. I know in my head the lady before made $86,000. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He has told me that he thinks she deserves to make $156,000. Okay,
right.
I don't know, Jen, if you do or not.
And full disclosure,
and you can hand me email. You can show me a list of stuff that I'm not going to understand. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe the people out there are smarter than that, and understand that, and saying that they do or they don't.
And full disclosure here, guys, Luke and I are both very much critical, and I am not the biggest fans of lawyers in general.
I mean,
big professional arguers over there. But in the
hold on
a second. So we are.
By the way, I'm the one that said get better guests.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. Why would you say that? Why are you calling in? If you hate us so much, why are you calling in?
So how you call it?
Boys.
Yes, Mom. Yes, Mom.
Yes, Bob.
Boys, relax. Come on, this is the first time I'm even listening to you guys.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Too much.
Actually, guys,
Thank you for watching.
This is the first podcast.
Look at I'm glad to be your first.
Relax, sweetheart. I was not insulting you.
Yes, Mom.
I was just you guys were talking.
You okay?
So much. I just had to cough.
Okay.
You guys were talking. She was rattling on. First of all, okay, who didn't give a shit? Who cares? Who cares? I mean, look, all right. First of all,
the people care. That's why we're having the people care.
Hold on.
The show.
Hold on. We're talking about the Warren Tribune and the Youngstown Vindicator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And if they want to attack her on those kind of, and let's face it, then I campaigned for you for judge, okay? You're double dipping. And you know what? There isn't anybody in this county that isn't double dipping.
Sure.
So don't
It's the caller.
freak out by it.
Caller's loud.
Huh?
Sorry, hold on, caller. Once again, we have the audio too loud for you, so it's people are complaining about how loud you're screaming. But you're not screaming. We get that. Go on. Sorry.
Okay. Did you get what I just said?
Yeah, we hear you fine. I guess you were screaming at everybody else.
Okay. My point is, I was a lawyer, okay? And what do you call 100 dead lawyers at the bottom of the sea?
What?
Shark bait.
A good thing.
A good thing.
No, a good thing.
Good joke.
Yes. Are you kidding? It's Shakespeare. Shakespeare said, "Kill all the lawyers."
I need to read more Shakespeare.
This podcast has deviated greatly.
I was a criminal defense attorney.
Getting death.
I was a criminal defense attorney and a domestic relations attorney for almost 18 years. Okay? And here's where I'm going to scold you. Okay? And not you boys. I think you're adorable.
Thank you. Thanks, Mom.
But Jennifer, if you only knew who I was, Jennifer, you're double dipping, okay? You're not being legally charged. Hold on, let me finish. You're not being legally charged.
I would like to know who you are.
You have got all of the documentation to back you up. Stop explaining yourself, okay? I don't think you work hard enough, okay? And as for Michael, open your mouth. No guts, no glory.
All right. Well,
We're good.
I am.
That's what I'm going to say.
All right.
And as far as I'm concerned, a judge, and judges were a big reason why I left the practice. Okay? But a judge is a person that has a black, they call him black robe. Black robe. Okay? But they're also a person that have risen to an above.
There you go, Joe.
This whole thing has deviated. And it's off. It's went off the rails. There's so much to
Michael,
talk
welcome
about.
to our show, by the way.
Well, thank you.
I don't know if you've ever watched before. This is exactly what happened.
Well,
And I don't want to say that it's just. We're not justifying. We're explaining it because there's questions. You just
You're
said
giving your case. You're giving your
Yes.
side.
and I want the public to know more about the clerk's office because I don't think it's really been in the news much until I became the clerk.
I have no idea.
So we do so much, and I was looking forward to coming in here and talking about. Yes, well, hello, Andrea.
She's wonderful.
I mean, I had no idea you guys did title. I had no idea. I mean, I figured it was the paperwork.
That's what people think. Yeah, people think you're a file clerk. That's what they think. That's what they do. A file clerk. No offense to file clerks with alphabetizing things, but that's what people think.
Right.
And there's also we maintain many records.
Yeah.
And one of the big things is very, very important to me. Our naturalization records. My office maintains naturalization records for everyone naturalized in Mahoning County from the 1860s. County was formed in 1846, all the way up to 1991 when the federal government then took that over. When I came into office, I found that these records in absolute. It makes me sick. It makes me sick the way they have been kept in a corner at the title office.
Nothing about
100 people make requests because perhaps they want dual citizenship. Perhaps they want to, they're doing it for genealogical purposes. If you go through the federal courts, or you go through practically any other larger county in the state, these records are digitized and they're easily accessible.
Right.
Here, you got to go through a hard catalog. Find it, go through paper that's 115 years old, that's deteriorating. And what yours truly has done is I found this to be a serious problem. It makes me sick because this is the history of our county. Yeah. It's the history of our country. And we're here because these people came here. And people need the records. I get the calls, and I reached out. I reached out to the Clerk of Courts Association. I then learned there is a nonprofit genealogical society that will come here. They will come and they will digitize our records free of charge. No cost to the
So
taxpayers.
we have no digitized records of
natural.
my grandma coming into town.
No, if you give me her name and birthday, I'll go in there and that's people say I don't talk and I don't do anything. Well, I know I'm in there and I'm going through the card catalog from 1960 because the people that preceded me that were there for 30 years and then there's somebody there for a year.
So like our great grandma came over in like 1920 or something.
Okay,
like that.
So if she was naturalized in Mahoning County, we likely have the record.
What's her name? Yeah,
I can't believe. Well, she went
Bambina Campolito.
Campolito. A good
came
name.
across, landed in New York, right?
Yeah.
Most of them did, yes.
Ellis Island.
We'll send you videos and stuff because we are disintegrating. He went out.
Bambino.
That's like his baby because he's very big into genealogy. Found this company, was so excited. We coordinated. They're coming in free of charge. Will stay as long as they need. They're shipping a $60,000 scanner. They're going to scan, digitalize it, power protect it, free.
Yeah.
Of cost. We don't pay them anything.
What is it now? Just stacks of stuff
of books. Yes.
We'll send you videos.
Wow.
Books that the books are falling apart.
They're gonna give us a link, and it's gonna be on our website, and you can go and you can do all of that, and it's not gonna cost the tax dollars one penny.
Wow.
And right now, if you want those records, it's 10 cents a page. If you want us to certify it and you have to get the letter from the
National Archive in Chicago,
it's $1. So these records are going to be free. You could go on and Google it.
I have a question back to the pay thing. So you go from 89 to 1, whatever it is. What as her boss, basically, how did you come up with that number?
Well, I think we already touched on this, but if we didn't, I know, frankly, I think she's worth more. I wish I could pay her more, but I know the constraints of my budget. I'm about quality over quantity. Okay. I mean, I could, if I hired, 5 people at $50,000 a year, I don't know if there'd be this outrage, right? Because that's political patronage. And I think a lot of people that are on here commenting know all about political patronage.
I was going to say, do you
it's
think
political gaslighting?
Yes.
Do you think? And this is always in the back of my head.
I'm a caller.
Oh, caller's here. Go ahead, caller.
Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome.
I was, people are just going nuts about this, truly. But we know in Mahoning County that family members, which Jen and Michael, I guess, are not, and they are not. Family members are married.
We are not.
But we know in Mahoning County this has been going on for years, and no-show jobs have been happening in Mahoning County for a long time. So why are people outraged? I know for a fact Michael has brought out that he's going to bring up Doge in the clerk's position. I want to know about that.
Okay.
They're so concerned about Jen's pay when let's look at the rest of the county. Damn it.
That's fair. Okay, cool. Thanks, caller.
Yeah.
Doge. Talk to me about Doge.
Well, no one told me. I found out that, some of the offices in the county, they were ordering new furniture.
To the tune of 80, 100.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars in new furniture, and good for the Ohio Desk Company.
Pause real quick. Jeff is complaining about, once again, if you keep the interview scholarly and set it up with that expectation, then the audience can better decipher the information.
Start your own podcast.
Wait. I'll do it. I'll take care of it. That's how we arrive at the informed decision when we vote. That's why these guests were on, right? Putting up 2 middle fingers to the audience on camera is like the most unprofessional thing that I have ever seen from someone representing our community in a public forum. Jeff, number one, we're not a public forum. We're a podcast that me and my brother put on. We pick whatever guests we want. It's like a TV show where there's nobody telling us what we can and can't do. We have no executive producer. We have none of that. We do whatever we want. It's the internet. Welcome to the internet, where you can flip off your guests if you really want to, because it doesn't matter. That's the internet. Sorry, Jeff. Also, we never claimed to be professional. We're not professional podcasters. I'm just a guy. I'm just a dude who has no idea what lawyers do.
Cut-off sleeve shirt.
Look at
tattoos.
Does he look professional? We are more laid back than the news. We're a long form interview. That's what a podcast is. If you don't like that, you don't have to watch. Sorry, go on.
Okay.
I mean, Jeff must be new here. That's all I can do. Jeff must be new.
Sure. But I'm just explaining to the new people here how podcasts
Hey, Jeff,
work.
go back and look when we dressed in drag. That's about 2 years ago.
It was for a good cause.
It was for a good cause. But we have dressed in drag before. Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, sir.
No, at any rate, so we get the emails here. I find it that various departments throughout the county, including the Board of Commissioners, are just buying new furniture.
To the tune of $60,000, $80,000, $100,000.
That's some nice furniture.
Yeah, so I don't think there'd be. I don't
Is that
think
the commissioners who did that one?
Commissioners. I think prosecutor's office. If I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
Yeah. So we get this email. It's nice. I'm glad they offered it because I prioritize things. Okay, Jen's worth
Should I
her
go
weight in
show
platinum.
up my current setup?
Look at the current setup.
Second highest
Okay.
paid salary.
That looks like Lucas's bedroom.
I mean, I'm
So-
the Godfather.
Yeah, that's a hand me down from the prosecutor's
So
office.
I don't even have an office. I sit in the corner. of
But-
my
Tracy, they're YouTube comments.
Yeah,
Yeah, look at that.
like in a corner, I have a secretary's desk, 4 computers. That's the Godfather.
No, it's Goodfellas. One's going east, the other's going west. So what?
Yeah.
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 I like the picture.
Because I would like nice furniture. I would like nice things, but that doesn't help better our cause or
Yes.
what we're trying
I
to do.
prioritize where the money is being spent. So we get this email from the commissioners. Good afternoon. The commissioners have some furniture available. Furniture is in fair condition. Okay. 3 desks. Oh, 3 desks. How many commissioners are there? Okay. 2 credenzas, 11 chairs, 6 bookshelves, 3 to 2 drawer wooden file cabinets, and 1 small table.
Oh, it's my desk.
Yeah, this is it. So we said we'll take it. We
My-
take their
mine was
hand-me-downs.
like, and they're like, it's 50 years old, and I'm like,
Like,
well,
yeah,
it's better than
it's
my
better.
That
current
looks
setup.
that looks nice.
Yeah,
It's
so this
right.
is what they
It's-
throw
it's
away.
a beautiful desk. And
But Ed Onion doesn't want to report on that, and Jerry Chudy doesn't want to report on that. So I think, I spent $60,000 on furniture. That'd be fine.
It's like
Exhibit A. It's like a courtroom.
I mean, it's widely foolery
No,
and keep
wait,
asking
no,
questions. It's not the highest, but yes, it's.
I told you we will bring receipts, and here's the thing: we first of all, Jerry Retrudy would text me at all hours, like if you see something on search, and I thought Jerry and I were cool, man. And then he wants to go and do what he did. He's going on with Runyon and
Runyon.
What's the other turd that I don't answer anymore?
Wait, Skolnick?
Skolnick.
Yeah, oh God.
They can go off to the land of go F yourselves, and you can do your public records requests, and I'll handle them on.
No, she is not Motley Fleur. You've asked this multiple times. She's not the highest paid clerk of courts employee in the state.
Yeah,
no.
Motley Fool. We're getting a question on there.
The same
You
thing
just
over
keep
and over,
repeating
repeating
the
yourself
same
over and over.
thing,
So-
and we've answered that question. See, this is why the internet drives me crazy. We already said, we established the fact it is a higher salary. Correct? We did that. We said that. We got that. We understand that. He said why. He explained why.
And
he's
this is
paying her
recorded, so you
salary.
can go back and watch
You could
it.
go back and watch it.
Yep.
If you don't agree with that, he is an elected official. I'm not defending him. I still don't know. The fact I'm not bothered by it at all is astounding. I didn't say I wasn't bothered by it.
I didn't say I was.
I didn't say I was. I didn't say I wasn't. I am saying to you, if you personally don't like it,
Or anybody else watching.
vote him out.
Right.
And I'm
Yeah.
not saying I'm going to vote for him.
I'm not elected official.
She's not elected.
No, I'm saying vote your boss out.
Yeah,
And
but
then they can change
then
the salary.
Cut her salary.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to sit here and be like, my God, Mike, why would you pay him? That's her salary. What's wrong with you? He's an elected official.
We had someone come into our office and out of deference, we're not going to say it, and look me and Ryan in the face and says, you're not worth it. And I was like, okay. And he goes, I don't know what your jobs are, but I can tell you're not worth it.
Right. But it's but like, you have to understand that. I know they're elected, and I know there's outrage because of the increase in salary, but at what point, what are you going to do, Motley, other than vote him out?
And
are you going to just keep screaming into the void on Facebook?
Is Kristen Fox the same one that was
You could
cheating
go
on
to the
her
commissioners.
husband?
I don't know.
What's your plan other than screaming
And
into the
then,
void? Do you understand?
Like
Shouldn't
money back
Tracy,
from the-
Tracy said there.
I think Chris and Fox wants to talk about being a
Commissioners,
professional.
Gino,
and she was
nothing
cheating
in
on
his
her
office
husband
and nothing in
and
it.
got sick.
Well, I don't know what Gino has. I just know this came from the Board of Commissioners, and they said
Shouldn't the
there's 3
language of
desks
this discussion
available.
be more appropriate for
Very
officials
nice.
of our-
And
You
I
guys-
have the chairs in my office are from the Carter administration. So
Kristen,
I,
just
you know,
what-
that's
what Kristen,
the chairs
what
aren't a
Michael or
priority.
Jennifer said that
It's
was
not the same Chris
inappropriate.
and Fox
All right,
though.
we need to
couple
we need
years
to
ago that-
guys we need to one at a time talking to the mic. It's getting chaotic.
Yeah,
in here.
chaotic.
Well, they say I don't talk, Luke and Isaac, so I can talk. I mean, I'm
We
getting,
should just
I'm getting
have
assailed here like I'm some sort of a puppet and I don't talk. I'll
Just shut our
talk.
3 mics off. Let Michael talk for a half hour.
I mean, I could just, if I go, it's just, I'll just keep going because we're going to need hours because this office is so important.
I think
It's so important.
we've been doing this. We've been
And-
doing this for an hour and a half. I think we're good. I think we've covered just about it. Is there anything else you guys want to
I mean, there's so much to
This-
cover, but
Listen, we wanted to come on here and educate what our office does. Let you know that it's not only in our budget, we're saving money. Even with my pay increase, our budget on payroll is coming under because I'm assuming more responsibilities and Ryan is assuming we create a position to assume it. So we're actually minimizing it because the hopes are that when we go to negotiate with the union, we can pay them more because they're worth every cent and more.
Right.
So, you know, this is going to come back up or when in September when we're negotiating budgets. So if that means we have to have less at-will employees, the friends and family that they say, and supervisors, and we take more roles, then Clerk Ciccone is willing to do that. So we can ask for our union members to have bigger pay raises. But if we have to, we have to hire 5 more people at 50 to 60,000, and use the entire allotment for all the supervisor payroll, then it is. So it makes fiscal sense.
Yes.
Go ahead, Michael.
No, I know Tracy Clementi. She's great.
wonderful.
And no, she's telling me to focus on my own office, and that is exactly what I'm doing. I am not trying to attack the commissioners or anything. I am simply just stating that this is what's available. They got new furniture. That new furniture was a priority to them. It's not a priority to me. Having the best and the brightest people working for me so that this office could be turned around so that our title office will make money. Okay. And we can possibly be able to put that money back into the general fund and give the commissioners that money back. That's where I'd like to be. Other counties do it. It's a common thing. Mahoning County, what they do is they've taken the title fund and they drain that, and then everything else goes into the legal fund. And I know this is all very confusing. It's quite complex. So
Michael, can I say something real quick?
Yes.
The
Yes, I was told I don't talk, and I'm a
no,
puppet.
you're good. You're good. So saying you're not going after the commissioner's office, and then saying they
said they
bought, and then hold on, I'm not done. And then saying they bought $60,000 in furniture and saying that's wrong is the most lawyer thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's not. I'm not saying this.
I'm not attacking them, but they did buy $60,000 for the furniture.
As to what what my priorities are, and they may have in the budget for it.
It's not that we're attacking them.
We're not.
That's how they prioritize. They believed that their budget money was to update their office.
Yeah.
Just like he believed that our operational budget was spent on salaries. We don't question them. It's what it is. It helped us out.
It helps us 'cause I'm glad we got this nice desk.
Because now I'm not sitting in the corner listening to his every thought because he like everything that comes in his head, he speaks, which is great.
Yes, I.
So once again, it's counties working together, and we got the desk, they got their stuff, and we're not like, hey, why would you spend all this money?
No, we're happy about it.
Money.
I get it.
It's their budget. Spend it on you.
Let's do that.
They spend it on money. You spend it on people.
I'm not telling other elected officials how to run their office.
I want to keep going live. I don't want to kick you guys out, but we're going to kick you guys out.
All right.
Because I want to decompress this.
Yes,
I want to decompress this. We're not going to talk bad about you guys. We're going to talk. Of
course
about
not.
this. We're going to talk about you guys.
I have to pee break too.
Okay, hold tight. I'll call you because I want to talk to you more about what we were talking about before. About the other, you said,
and then
15 minutes after.
As we said earlier, if you don't think this is good enough, next week I'm going to try and I talked to Beatrice and he said he would come on in the comments. I want to get him on next week because he's obviously very critical of this. I want to talk to him next week. He already said he would come on.
But
so all the people bashing these guys
can people email you or something, Michael, if they have a question?
Absolutely.
I mean, and I don't want to open up your email to a bunch of freaking haters, but
well, you know, yeah,
it's a government position. You kind of have to, right?
Yeah. Well, they can email me. They want to email me. They can email me. It's my first name dot my last name at mahoningcountyoh.gov.
And then I guess it all comes down to it just comes down to the fact that it's your department. You're going to run it. You're an elected official. And if people, I mean, this is the way I look at it. If people don't agree with it, 4 years, that's it.
Well, and
you guys have 3 years to prove yourselves, right?
Correct.
Exactly.
Well, and there's two things I want to hit on, and I can do
Yeah.
in 30 seconds
Do it.
because you posted that we would talk about
Yeah,
it.
do it.
So the Levante night, that was a case that the Supreme Court said the file wasn't completed and it issued the thing. So we got that letter, I believe, the second or third week into January. We called the clerk and we say there's a big and Levante night is file is she would have advocated for the kids so much better if that's only downfall.
I don't know.
I'm mad at Jen because when she was on her way to my house and she called and gave me the bad news that the judges couldn't, although the due date was good, she would have. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Oh, I remember Sarah. Sarah was lovely. She does a lot for the pet community.
For the dogs.
Yeah, man. You're one of, but so we call and we say that's the one that a prosecutor got in trouble for misconduct and withholding evidence.
Okay.
And I'll give credit where it's due. Beatrice lawyered his butt off.
Yeah.
There.
Mm-hmm.
Beatrice will get credit where he's due. I'll give him. I call him an asshole, but I will. I mean, he served Levante.
This might surprise you, Jen. I get called an asshole sometimes too.
But
likewise.
Them effectively represented him. He still got guilty.
Right.
The 7th District Court of Appeals overturned it. And the Supreme Court, which they almost never do, accepts jurisdiction.
Right.
This file is monumentous. And also, was some missing evidence. The evidence was released from, once again, this is previous administration, previous prosecutor's office, nothing nefarious that I know of with this prosecutor's office, is that during the pellet of Levante night, they release evidence that is part of the record back to the prosecutor's office, who is found to have misconduct. When you cert a record, you have to go through and send everything. And when you don't have something, you have to account for it.
Okay.
And then you have to try to track it down. They said, so we've been in contact with them. They're like, it's an entry, but we can get extensions, keep us posted. They actually had the records from, if I recall, once again, we have receipts. I didn't, but they actually had the records. They just hadn't got through them because, I mean, they were bankers boxes of stuff. And then I think we got it on a Friday. The next day, they're like, resolved. Records were there. So that was that. It was an extension. It wasn't necessarily what it was tried to be made out, but that was that issue. We had to do it, and there's missing evidence. So then we had to do affidavits from everyone for chain of custody because the court needs to do it. Nothing nefarious. Clerk's court. It was just that case was a nightmare. And once again, props to Beatrice. She lawyered the hell out of that case.
Yes.
So the other one, CNS. Well, it's a federal lawsuit.
Okay.
We knew they were coming. Kathy Welsh prepped me. Long story short is, they want us to provide documents before they're approved. By statute, we keep records that we timestamp or that are our records.
Okay.
So to break it down, then what happened was in Franklin County, they were sued, and because they have over 1 million population, when you went to file, you put it in a basket. They would let the court come look through the basket. The courts would then review it, timestamp it, and then when they went to e-filing, they wanted the same access, and they're like, well, we're not giving you a queue, it's submit. So this man who filed this lawsuit has done this across the United States, and we have all this documentation. We can send it if you want to put it up on your link.
I believe you.
But we knew, but that was, so they lost because they say that they need the extra time and that They didn't argue that it wasn't a record. That's the Southern District of Federal Court. We knew they were going to sue us because they basically were telling us for the last 6 months, you do this or we're going to sue you. And we're like, well, it's not our responsibility. So how we do it, once again, trying to explain what the court records do and how it expands is back before you had e-filing and you had something in the court, you would take your papers and you would stand in line. You would wait your turn. You'd give it to the clerk. The clerk cannot change anything. They make a cursory review, write case number, write parties, not writing Gary Ricciuti is a giant asshole on a piece of paper and trying to get it into a court record. You know, like, you know, there's things that we review, and then we either accept it if they have the filing fee, they timestamp it. We don't check it for legal. They're not lawyers. We can't give legal advice. And then it becomes public record. So, so what they're basically arguing is if you take e-filing out of it, because all the cases they're citing as e-filing is that there's a big case being sued, and you know they leak it to the press because that's how the press finds out. And the lawyer comes, and there's 20 people in line, and they're all working time stamping stuff. And the news reporter comes up and says, "I heard this case is being filed. I want the complaint." And they check and they say, "Oh, we don't have that. It's not been filed yet." He's like, "Well, it's going to be filed." He's 6th person back there.
Yeah.
They want us. They said it's our responsibility, because we know it's going to be filed. He's standing in line. We can presume it that the clerk Ciccone will have to like come out with like a baseball bat and be like, let him see it. So then they say, which is essentially what they're asking for the e-filing queue, because we haven't approved
to see
it,
the actual thing
prior to being accepted.
Yeah.
So then it goes one step further. They then say that they should, so let's just say they came up and they didn't have their filing fee and it gets rejected. So if we do anything with the records, they then become, we have public records retention. We have to keep the records. So let's just say it's not in compliance. We put it out there. It has curse words. It has victims' names in it, which is not permitted. You know, it has all that stuff because it hasn't been approved from us, but we put it there. It's then our responsibility. We reject it. So put it in, like, let's take it down to what people know. I say, you don't have your filing fee. Come back with $100. Okay. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Takes the files and then walks away. And the news reporter goes, well, can I see it? They want the court to be able to say, no, come here. Let the news reporter see your complaint, even though we rejected the filing. Mm-hmm. So then they argue. They're asking a federal court. His duties are
prescribed by the revised code. The Ohio revised code.
Federal court to extend a state law to what extent? So does that mean if you know a lawyer is walking towards a police with a filing like a briefcase, that he's going to be like Beetlejuice? You say, let me see it. And then he has to show up with a bat and be like, show the recordings. Like there's no end. And once again, there's some, they copied and pasted the complaint. Our average, because we had a pool of this and it's ongoing litigation. So our attorneys, advised us what we can, and, it'll be public when it comes. But our average time is from the time it is submitted to the time that it's not, to it's processed and made ready, available to the public, is 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. And they say that it's been delayed days. Now, the nice thing about our e-filing system is that our hours of operation are from 8 to 8:40, 8 to 4:30. Any attorney will tell you from 8 to 4:30, they're in court. And then they have to go back and meet with clients and everything else. Okay. So that's when a lot of stuff gets filed. So if you file something at 6 o'clock, our system allows it. And then when the clerks get in at 8, they process it. But it has the timestamp from the day before.
Gotcha.
So you can file up to 11:59 to get the timestamp. Okay. So it actually increases our hour. So the only way, so what they're arguing is because like if something gets filed at 5 o'clock on Friday, it takes 72 hours to process because we're not in business. Right. But it gets processed at 8:08. That's technically, if you look at hours, it's 8 minutes. So the fun part is, if the court rules in their favor, and we think we're very confident, we have Cleveland attorneys that are on this. They are excellent. The prosecutor's office is sitting in on it. I mean,
Yes.
we are in good hands on this case. And I actually helped draft it once again, because I'm an attorney. I'm not acting an attorney, but I helped because I know the legal is that the way that we would comply is shut down e-filing. So you can't e-file unless 8 to 4:30.
Wow. That makes
So
sense.
that actually is, it's actually contradictory
of what
of what it is, because then no one's going to be there at 8 o'clock because
What-
attorneys are busy.
When is that going to all go down?
So our answer is due, I think, in 3 weeks. And then there will
I'm
be
sure
a
Jerry
hearing.
Rashuda will be on that.
Well, he hasn't gone on
Isn't
now.
it
WFMJ wrote an article about it, and then they said that a letter was sent to me in September of 2024, and I was not the clerk of courts in September of 2024.
But they misstated it even for
So-
Dan DeCenzo.
Yeah.
They said that he didn't respond.
He did
Not
respond.
only did Dan
Dan
first of
responded.
all, the letter didn't request a response. Not only did Dan, once again, giving props to Dan
Mm-hmm.
where it's due,
Right.
is that not only did he respond, he actually, because he has the records, because we're keeper of the records, he shoots it off to the prosecutors and goes, hey, we know this, Kathy and I are working on this, how do you suggest to respond to this, in compliance? They articulate it. So once again, they report the wrong stuff. He wasn't even in office, Dan was, and Dan not only responded, he took additional steps to make sure that they were in compliance.
Well, let's.
But those are the.
Well, I got my lovely wife. I got to answer her question.
Those out of there.
I don't know if we've talked about this at home. They chose to file against us, Emily, my wife, because we are in the federal system. We are in the Northern District of Ohio. The case of Courthouse News Service versus O'Shaughnessy was in the Southern District of Ohio. So they're trying to make that binding upon the Northern District for the.
We're not in their jurisdiction, so it's not.
They're feeling out there.
So here's what we're going to do. So we'll follow all this. We'll see how this goes. You got 3 years left to your reelection.
Yes.
3.5, right?
I'm
So
focused on now.
We'll monitor all this.
Yeah.
Anything comes up, let us know. We'll have you guys back on.
I'd love to come back on, chat about all the things you have to do, because there's not enough time.
It's not enough time.
Everything that we do.
We're going to kick you guys out. I want to decompress.
All right.
Talk to 15 minutes after.
All right. Say bye real quick. And
all right, real fast. Hold tight, everybody. Go.
Bye. Thank you for everyone's.
Yes,
thank you for listening to this show on Youngstown Studio. This is original Youngstown content. Feel free.
No.
Thank you for.
No. Don't edit. We're going to talk.
We're still here. Don't leave, everybody.
Joe.
Bye. Thank you for everyone
Thank
for
you.
their comments and insight.
It shows that you're concerned about our county. So
We
we appreciate that.
All right. See you guys later. Not muted. So don't say anything nasty.
No, it's okay.
No.
Bye.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you, gentlemen.
Bye. Thank you, Jeff. You good?
You're good.
Well, yeah, this is. Oh, you have no idea.
We have.
You have no idea. This is just a small. This is.
I'll just sit over there.
Yeah, sit over there.
this is little.
All right. We'll decompress. We'll talk to you guys later.
I think so. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, thank you. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you. Yep.
Good luck. Nice to meet you. See ya. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Is this your bag here?
Yeah.
Oh, here, I'll she's accusing me.
Grab my.
Okay.
All right.
All right. See you guys. We're
Bye.
decompressing. We will be decompressing.
Yeah.
We stretch you guys.
No, you're fine. We're good. Luke is getting in trouble mid-show at school. He's fine though, but it's just nice.
Got in trouble?
All right, see you guys.
Wow, it is
All right, bye.
blinding sitting over here.
Huh?
It's blinding sitting over here.
Why?
No, you're good. I got you. Yep, we'll take care of it. Thank you, sir.
All right, let's decompress.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that went about as good as I expected it would go.
That's great.
That was about as good as it gets right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Joe, can you come out here and talk to us? We need you to help.
Man,
Joe, that was so much stuff. Like,
it's like all
Joe,
I
we need you.
want.
Come on up here, Joe. Pull up a chair next to Isaac.
All you want, right, is just like
Did that go
clear,
how you thought it was going to go?
clear-cut answers.
Oh my God.
All you want is clear-cut answers, and you never get that. And I swear it's a lawyer thing, but it's like, just get to the point.
Because they can't.
Tell me what your point is, and then explain it. And like, it's just like
They can't. Lawyers can't do that. They have to have exhibits.
So
they
much.
have like.
this is not personal.
No, it's just how they
it's just how they present cases. All Michael needed to do was come in here and say, I feel she deserves this raise because she's doing a great job.
Am I doing anything illegal? No. I'm paying her this because I want to, and that's that. If you don't like it, vote me out. Boom. Done.
Right, Joe? Like, did you hear all that?
I did.
Like, that's it.
Like,
And
anybody else? Like, or okay, the court cases. Well, they told me I could do it. Then I got a confusing email that said I couldn't.
Yeah.
And then they said I could again. And then I missed the day.
So it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I got confused. I didn't know what to do. Boom.
Right?
Yeah. Done.
I don't think we needed.
Yeah.
I don't think we're getting sued right now in Southern Ohio because they changed the e-filing thing.
Yeah, because it went from electronic filing to normal filing, and there was like a cutoff window period of
And it
time.
got confusing, and we're going with it now. We don't want to listen to what they're doing.
Yeah, it's in court. We'll figure it out. Boom.
Right?
I'm emotionally exhausted.
And then you got people in the comments who are like, "You guys aren't professional, and this should be professional." It's like, bro,
I would have gotten fined like $20,000 because I flipped off the camera today. Did you see that?
I did see that.
Dude, somebody said when you guys have Beatrice on, he's professional. You need to act professional. No, we don't.
No, I don't.
No, we don't.
Yeah, this
We'll do it.
guy.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Jeff Buzzard.
He does it. That's not how podcasts work.
Beatrice is
I'll
a
do
good
it.
guy. Be a pro when talking to the pro next week.
Nope. I'll do what I want because it's our show. Sorry.
Like,
Beatrice wants to come on. Cool. If he doesn't, cool. Don't care, but I'll do whatever I want.
yeah.
As long as it's legal and I'm not doing
like,
anything.
Like, that must be a new guy.
It's the internet.
I just
I'll
think
do what I want.
many
This isn't the
people's
news.
last names, same figure connection, MLO Bros rock. Like,
I think that's just people who don't understand what's happening.
is that it?
No, they just don't know what a podcast is. They don't know what we are and aren't allowed to do. They're like, oh, this is a professional setting. No, it's not.
I'm here. Kellen just said, I'm here going, Jerry.
I mean, just chaos. Yo, what do you got? How do we do, Coach?
Did good.
Joe's so tired. He's going to take a nap. I'm exhausted. I need a nap.
There's so much going on. And then worst case scenario, Luke leaves for like a half an hour in the middle, and he's the one who like took notes and stuff. And I'm just like, oh no, oh this is so bad.
Yeah, where the heck did you go? Like that doesn't happen. And
Lucas, there's some TikTok challenge. Lucas stuck a paperclip in his Chromebook.
They break it.
No, but I guess it's some TikTok challenge.
Okay.
Trying to start fires or something like that, and it doesn't work.
Okay.
And he did it, and the teacher saw him and sent him to the principal's office. So the principal called me, and I'm like, well, did he cause fire? No. Is he an idiot? Yes.
Yeah.
Is he getting in trouble? No. I said, okay. I was like, well, just yell at him and send him back. Oh, okay. I just wanted you to know he did that. I said, okay, he's an idiot, but did he start a fire? No. Did he? Okay.
It doesn't work.
I was like, I said to the principal, is he terrified right now that he's getting? He's like, yes. I said, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll yell. Like, why is it? I didn't even think that's worth a trip to the principal's office.
Yeah.
Like,
it sounds like the teacher.
Just I don't know. And he's like, well, it's worth $250. I said, okay, I just scare him and send it back to class. I don't.
Yeah. Give him a detention.
Yeah. I didn't even think he deserved a detention for that. It's like, come on, man.
Did he break the computer?
No, it wasn't even broke.
I don't understand.
The deputy clerk's positions are still not filled. I mean, it was just a mess. Any comments?
I get why people think it's a lot of money. That's a shitload of money. That's a lot of money. And I get it. And I think if I disagree or agree with it, that is a lot of money. But like, it's not like you can't attack her personally. And like the people that worked with her that were here, like bashing her, like her voice is like nails. That's not fair. Like, screw you.
She talks a lot, but I knew that already.
Yeah, we know she talks a lot, but like, that's not fit. That has nothing to do with how much money she's making. Like, who cares? What's that have to do with her ability to do her job?
And like, they want us to grill her.
Yeah, I'm not going to come in here, invite people on our show, let's hear them. And then, I'm just an idiot who does a podcast. Like, we're going to have another guest Beatrice, who's also a lawyer, who's involved in the system. He can tell us why it's wrong.
Right.
And I'll hear him out because he has experience in the topic at hand. I have no freaking idea.
So people are giving us shit on there, Joe, about like not grinding them. I'm like,
I'm not personally attacking this lady.
Notice too, every one of those accounts that were accusing us of not attack were fake accounts, by the way.
They're just afraid of.
So annoying.
Is that the podcasting,
yeah,
the
the
podcasting
FCC is
people
coming-
saying,
coming
"Hey, you
after
guys."
Well, you know, when it comes to government, do you think that salaries should be at the discretion of the people doing the appointing, or should it be standardized?
That's
Because
a good question too.
pretty much every government agency has the same function, so they could say this position pays X, and then every county has to follow X.
I thought his lawyer comment was a very good point.
What was
He's
that?
like, he said that he said, I'm not attacking Mahoning County commissioners, but they spent $60,000 on furniture when you could have done it for $30,000. I am spending my money on people, not furniture, was his argument. I was like, I respect that. You want the best, you hire the best.
So all of the salaries of
It
all
should
the
be
commissioners
standardized. It
are
should.
all standard. Like commissioners, every elected official has a standardized thing. So
Yeah.
you're saying every position
Yeah,
should be
right.
standardized.
Right. And the other thing
I
too
agree
is,
with that 100%.
no, there should be a rule where if he's making 115 or whatever he's making, and he's in charge of her, she should be making more than him. Like, she'd be making 89.
I don't know.
You know,
I don't know.
that's a solid argument.
I don't know. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, dude, you would never let me make more money than you.
Well, I would
If I closed all the loans.
if it was commission.
Yeah,
As a sales manager,
Yeah,
you're
if
making-
I closed-
want
if
every
I closed
sales guy to
50
make
loans and I made more money than you.
100%. But a salary, hell no.
man, if I made more money than you, I would be walking around like.
What'd you say to me? Let's see here. I think people are still shocked over huge property tax increase and the salary to go from 90 to 120. I think you're right too. I think it goes back to that.
Well, the other thing too is there was definitely a little bit of miscommunication and misinformation, and people thought they were related. Obviously,
Yeah.
So I think people read that
She
article
does
and
make
were
more
just
money than him, Ed.
yes, yep.
Most of your property tax goes to the school system. That is also true, not the county. I don't know. I don't know what to even think after this.
Well, what we'll do. Beatrice already said he'll come on if he doesn't show up now. He said something and he's not a man of his word. So
This feels like egging on. This feels like a little.
no, he said he would. So I want to get somebody in here who is a professional, as commenters have said, that knows what's going on and is a lawyer and can give us details from within the system.
You got to watch though, because I smell political party BS in all of this.
Are they both Republicans?
They're both Republicans. I smell
wouldn't be
party
surprised.
BS in all those YouTubers that are commenting,
Right.
In all the
Right.
fake accounts. I smell
Well,
politics. Is what I smell.
Yeah,
I
we will say,
smell-
I mean, Beatrice was the head of the Democratic Party in the Mahoning County, right?
100% he was.
So we'll make that known, and that's fine.
Because
it's just,
you know how these people
yeah.
think.
And at the end of the day, it really does boil down to, if you don't like how much he's paid, that was his decision. If you don't like that, you can vote him out in the future.
That's it.
It's literally that
That's
simple. It's not anything. I don't know like the legality of the time and her working on those cases. I don't know enough about it. And she's quoting facts and people are quoting. I don't know enough about
That's
it.
and
I
that's
really
what I'm saying.
don't.
And people want us to grill it, and it's like, dude, I don't know enough. Like if we're talking about, if we were talking about home loans or something like that, I'd be able
Yeah.
to grill the shit. Joe's talking about computers or anything, you
Joe-
go after.
Joe,
Like,
how about this guy? In terms of like professionalism within a podcast, this guy invites these people on, then takes a half-hour phone call in the middle of the interview of the guests he invites on.
It happens on TV all the time.
All the
They're
time.
Like,
I'm
and
like-
those people take restroom breaks in the middle of it too.
I get back, flip off people watching, and get accused of unprofessionalism.
I'm like,
Nailed it. I'm on their side.
I'm
I'm
like,
on their side.
this cat just left me hanging after inviting two important guests on. He's like, yeah, I got to take a phone call. I'm like,
It was like,
are you kidding me?
family first? That's it. Family first.
Jeez, oh man.
Family first. I needed a break. My head hurt. I actually text Maggie. I was like, call me right now. Call me right now.
Hey, we're trying to put Isaac in an awkward position. Call me right now.
Be surprised.
All right, let's get out of here. All right, everybody, we'll be back Tuesday, maybe. Oh my God. No, we're not coming back Friday. We can't Friday. With this school thing.
What do you mean Friday?
You said you want Beatrice on Friday with school.
We'll figure it out. We'll do Thursday or I don't
Okay.
know. We'll figure it out.
Thanks,
We'll figure it out.
Sorry, we went long today. I know I'm so tired. I'm gonna go take a nap.
Wait, go back to that comment, Joe. Somebody was cracking up when he left me. I'm like, dude. Shelby the tweet says, Isaac, I was cracking up when he left you. The look on your face. I'm like, This freaking dude organizes this podcast. I have no idea what's going on, who these people are, and they're speaking in tongues. And you want me to figure this out by myself? Leave for a half hour.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Good Lord.
You did a great job.
That is horrible. I'm going to have a panic attack. I need to figure out how to get out of this. How am I going to get out of this?
Here's the thing. I figured Jen was going to talk for us anyway. So it was fine.
Full-on panic attack mode. I'm like, I got to keep it together here. I got to keep it together. I'm going to have a panic attack.
Jen was going to talk. It was fine. Jen talked.
Holy crap, dude. Good thing they didn't ask any important questions.
Hey, we're loan officers, realtors. If you need
we are
real estate.
That's a sales pitch. We are loan officers. We are real estate agents. If you need a home loan, you need to buy a house, you're selling a house, call us. If you want to do a podcast in here and do it more professional in a way that you can,
flip off,
have great guests on instead of bad guests, call Joe.
Maybe stay in the whole time, not go to the bathroom.
Yeah, not take 45-minute phone calls in the middle of a very important interview.
Sleeves.
Call Joe at Youngstown Studio. He'll help you out. But thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks. Bye. I'm so tired.
Thank you for listening to this show on Youngstown Studio. This is original Youngstown content. Feel free to share our videos and tell your friends about us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook. Thank you.